What is up, college football fans and fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Couz, and welcome to another edition of Couz's Corner, your go-to sports channel with a heavy dose of West Virginia Mountaineers. Tonight, I'm going to give you my top 12 for Week 7. But first, I want to recognize a few people. Number 1, Joey Foster. Joey, I really appreciate your support for all the promotion you've done for my channel. Also, I want to thank Tiger Baskins and Golden Blue Dude. I had the privilege of being on both of their shows this past week. Was able to call in and chat with them about college football, and in the case of Golden Blue Dude, about West Virginia football. And it was a real pleasure, and I appreciate both of those gentlemen for having me on. And I ask all of you who have not, please check out their channels. Once again, it's Tiger Baskins and Golden Blue Dude. For those of you who haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. Please also give me the thumbs up if you like my content, and if you don't, give me the thumbs down. And also in the comment section, when I get done giving you my top 12, let me know in the comment section what you think about my top 12 and if there's any teams you think should be in or shouldn't be in. Now let's get on with the show. Number 1 on my list, the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia's coming off a nice 34-10 win over the Auburn Tigers, and Georgia just continues to dominate everybody and continues to play stifling defense, and I still think they're the top team in the country. Number 2, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa coming off a nice win against the ranked Penn State team, and they still sit at 6-0 right now. Number 3, the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati had a 52-3 win over Temple on Saturday. They continue to win in convincing fashion over teams they should beat. So I moved them up to number 3. Number 4, the Michigan State Spartans. I moved Michigan State up to number 4 because they had a nice win, nice convincing win over Rutgers this past weekend, and they remain undefeated. Number 5, the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan also had a nice win, winning 32-29 over Nebraska. I had Michigan ahead of Michigan State last week, but to me, Michigan State's win over Rutgers was more convincing than Michigan's 3-point win over Nebraska. I do think Nebraska's a better team than we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season, but still, the Michigan State's win over Rutgers was by about 30 points, 29 or 30 points. So I think that that's a more convincing win, so I give Michigan State a slight bump for that. Number 6, Oklahoma Sooners. Bumped them up a few spots this week. They had a nice come-from-behind win against their rivals, the Texas Longhorns, in the Red River Shootout, and by a score of 55-48. Backup quarterback Caleb Williams injected some life into that Oklahoma offense, it looks like. But the question remains, will he be the starter going forward, or will they bring Spencer Rattler back in and give him the nod for Week 7 against TCU? Number 7, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Bumped him up a few spots as well. They had a huge 66-10 win over Maryland. Absolutely dominant against Maryland. And their Stroud, Henderson, and Olave, I think, might be the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver tandem in the nation. And Ohio State just looks like they keep getting better and better, and so I think that they deserve to be number 7 this week. Number 8, Penn State. They're 5-1, coming off that loss to Iowa. Since Iowa was ranked number 2 on my poll, I didn't drop Penn State down out of the top 12, but I did move them down some because they do have that loss. Big question for them, will quarterback Sean Clifford return from his injury in time for the Ohio State game in 2 weeks? Number 9, this is where I have the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama coming off that 41-38 loss to Texas A&M. So I dropped them all the way down from 2 to 9. I know that's a big drop, and I know the AP poll didn't drop them that much, but hey, Alabama, come on. You lost to an unranked team, and you allowed a team that was only averaging 20 points against FBS competition to put 41 on you. So you deserve to drop 7 spots, in my opinion. Now, Alabama will have a lot of chances to move back up my poll, and I believe they will in future weeks. Number 10, Oregon. I had Oregon at number 9 last week, dropped them down a spot even though they had a bye, because I can't put them ahead of Alabama, because I think Alabama's loss to Texas A&M is still a better loss than the loss Oregon had 2 weeks ago against Stanford. So I'll give Alabama the nod and put Oregon at 10. Number 11, new to my poll this week, the Kentucky Wildcats. Congratulations to Coach Stoops and his team and his staff. Kentucky's 6-0 right now on the season, shocking college football world right now. Coming off another win, a nice 20-point victory over LSU, 21-point victory over LSU. And Coach O making Coach O's seat even hotter than it already was. And Kentucky now sits probably the second best team in the SEC East. I don't expect Kentucky to stay in my poll very long because they have to face the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. And that probably won't be pretty. But kudos to Kentucky for what they've done so far, and they deserve to be in the poll. Number 12, and back in after a 1-week hiatus, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame went into Blacksburg, Virginia, won 32-29 against the Hokies. And yes, I know it took a last-second field goal to win the game. But the Hokies were 4-1 at the time, even though they were unranked. And Blacksburg is a really tough place to play, especially at night. When they start cranking Enter Sandman, that crowd goes crazy. So that's a good win in my opinion. So I put Notre Dame back in at number 12. Now my 4 honorable mentions. Number 1, Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Coastal Carolina, another convincing win, 52-20 over Arkansas State. Coastal Carolina continues to play a lower level of competition than the other teams in the poll, so I just can't put them in right now, but maybe they'll make it in future weeks. Also, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, I actually had in at number 12 last week. They just come off a bye, and since they didn't play, and Kentucky and Notre Dame both had nice wins, I had to put them in over Oklahoma State. But Oklahoma State goes to Texas this week, and if they win, they'll get back in, more than likely. Texas A&M. Yes, even though Texas A&M is only 4-2, that win over Alabama gets them on my honorable mention list. Because Alabama was number 2 in my poll last week. So that was a big win. And last but not least on my honorable mention list, Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons had another win over the Syracuse Orange on Saturday. And they did it in walk-off fashion. A touchdown in overtime. But since Syracuse is not really that good, I still can't put Wake Forest in the poll. But they do deserve to be an honorable mention because they are the only undefeated team remaining in the ACC. So there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Do you think my poll's crazy? Who would you put in? Who would you put out? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, the dislike button, the notification bell, and until next time.